The Democrats can put on whoever they want as long as they get 50 votes plus Kamala Harris. I know Lawrence Tribe and others have said the vice president can't cast a tie-breaking vote for a judicial pick, but it's already been done several times. The Senate has allowed it. No one's challenged it, so precedent is set. It can. You need 50 Democratic votes. But you have Raphael Warnock in Georgia. 2 public polls have come out that have Herschel Walker, the presumed Republican nominee, beating Warnock in Georgia already. And we're in January. Now, things could change. Walker's got some issues. The Democrats will rough him up. But he's winning right now. In Arizona, Mark Kelly is losing to a generic Republican. They don't even have a nominee. It's not clear who's going to be the Republican nominee in Arizona, and Mark Kelly's already losing to him. In Nevada, Catherine Cortez Masto, I think her name is, the Democrat, it's tied between her and Adam Laxalt now. If Biden goes for broke and goes far left, the Republicans can't stop that person, but they can run a media campaign aggressively against that person and point out just how far left that person is. The wokes are deeply unpopular right now. The left, the far left, the progressives are deeply unpopular right now. The generic ballot favors the Republicans, and Democrats have gone into hiding every time Biden shows up. Stacey Abrams would not appear on a campaign stage with Joe Biden in Georgia. She said she was sorry, she was getting her hair done, or had some other prior commitment. It's not just her, a pattern is emerging. Joe Biden is headed to Pennsylvania to do a thing on infrastructure. A bridge, by the way, has collapsed in Pennsylvania before Biden gets there, giving him a perfect opportunity to sell infrastructure and the need for federal upgrades. 2 of the 3 leading Democrats on Pennsylvania's statewide ballot this spring who were invited to appear won't attend. The lieutenant governor, the leading Senate candidate, and the state's attorney general, Josh Shapiro, the likely nominee for governor, won't be there. Connor Lamb, who is perceived to be a moderate, and he's not that moderate, he will be on stage. He's been a longtime Biden supporter. He's based out of Pittsburgh. He's going to show up. The other 2 want nothing to do with Joe Biden. Stacey Abrams went into hiding. Democrats disappear when Biden comes near. They go hiding. They go hiding when Biden comes near. You got the generic ballot has the Republicans at their highest percentage in more than a decade. You've got the Senate up for grabs in a 50-50 Senate. Good luck, Joe Biden, on your Supreme Court pick. This person's going to have to be the most thoroughly vetted person in the country. And listen, in the past, Republicans have been far more respectful to Democrat picks than the Democrats ever have been to Republicans. I don't think that the Democrats understand how much fire they're playing with because the media is on their side. The media has taken their side. Look at how the media coordinated attacks on Brett Kavanaugh. Look at how the media attacked Amy Coney Barrett for adopting children. They attacked her for that. They attacked Neil Gorsuch, and that was nothing. Neil Gorsuch was just replacing Antonin Scalia, and they still couldn't help themselves and caused the last of the judicial filibuster to die. They can't help themselves. Go back to Clarence Thomas. Go back to Robert Bork. The Democrats play far nastier when it comes to nominations than the Republicans ever have. In large part is because they control the media. So the media can attack these people in ways they've never been attacked by Republicans. The Republicans have learned their lesson. The Republicans are going to go after whoever this person is. They kind of have to go after whoever this person is. And in so doing, if Joe Biden goes as liberal as the progressives want, and keep in mind, Joe Biden has humored the left on everything and couldn't get them voting rights, and he couldn't get a Build Back Better, so he kind of needs to get them a known, confirmed Supreme Court progressive to replace Stephen Breyer. Keep in mind, Stephen Breyer was of the left, but he wasn't as far left as the left wants him to be. Stephen Breyer was pretty Chamber of Commerce-y on business issues, and the left hates that these days. But Jim Clyburn, Joe Biden owes him. Joe Biden owes Jim Clyburn, because without Jim Clyburn rallying black voters in South Carolina, Biden probably would not have been the Democratic nominee. Jim Clyburn wants someone named Michelle Childs. She's a district judge in South Carolina, U.S. District Court for the District of South Carolina. I'm kind of enamored with the idea, in large part because she went to the University of South Florida for her bachelor degree and the University of South Carolina for her JD. She got an LLM from Duke. She's not an Ivy League. She's not a Harvard. She's not a Yale. She's not a Princeton. She's not a Columbia. She's not an Ivy Leaguer. The best is Duke, and that was an LLM. She went to the University of South Carolina for law school. She's from South Carolina. She's a liberal. The problem is, does she have what it takes? I would assume so, getting an LLM from Duke. But she's somewhat unknown to the progressive community in Washington. The progressive community in Washington has their preferred picks. Keep in mind, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the Republicans gave her a pass. She was the counsel for the National Organization of Women. She was a known left-wing feminist. The Republicans gave Elena Kagan a pass. She was the Solicitor General. She had been a Harvard professor. She had, I think, taught Ted Cruz in law school or some such. A lot of Republicans who'd gone to Harvard Law School had Elena Kagan as a professor, and they loved her. They like her. Antonin Scalia lobbied for her. He wanted her, not Sotomayor. The Republicans gave Kagan a pass. They gave Sotomayor a pass. The Democrats didn't do that with Gorsuch. They didn't do it with Kavanaugh. They didn't do it with Barrett. So the Republican gloves have come off, and they've come off at a time where Democrats out on the campaign trail are hiding when Joe Biden shows up. He's that unpopular. Only a third of Americans care for Joe Biden. In Georgia, Biden's popularity is 31%. That's his total approval rating, 31%. Raphael Warnock, going to vote for a radical progressive for the Supreme Court. He's going to lose his Senate race. Mark Kelly in Arizona, he's going to lose his Senate race. If President Biden puts a big, huge, well-known progressive who's soft on crime and big on left-wing social policy on the Supreme Court, it's a pretty big indicator the Democrats know the Senate is done. They might as well go for broke and rally around this person, put a progressive on the Supreme Court because they're done. The problem with that thinking, though, is that it then has cascading effects into the House of Representatives. It has cascading effects into the state gubernatorial elections. It has cascading effects for the Democrats around the country. They got to play this right. When Stephen Breyer announced he was retiring, well, actually, when they jumped the gun and leaked it and he was livid, he's still going to do it. Progressives thought, finally, we can get someone to the left of Breyer on the Supreme Court. Finally, we can do this. You really can't, though, without destroying the Senate's control by Democrats and the House's control by Democrats and several Democratic governors out there. You can't do that now. Biden's too unpopular, and so are the Democrats, and so are the wokes. You overplayed your hand, and now you can't get what you want unless you grab hold of it, push it through with all your might, and then you're going to lose everything else and still have a 6-3 conservative majority on the Supreme Court.